Hi everyone, this video is relevant for all the undergraduate students of the channel who had asked me about internships and how they can be used to get into a B school. In this video, I'll be covering all these questions which were shared by you in the comment section. To begin with the first one, whether internships are even important or necessary to get into a B school. Now, in the last video on profile building, I had shared that if you are targeting MBA admission for now and not targeting MBA placement, then in MBA admission, there is an interview form which is shared by most B schools. Within that form, there are some clauses. For example, internships are not counted as your work experience, so you cannot mention them in the form. The only way for you to tell the panelists about your internship experience is by talking about it during the interview. And when you talk about it during the interview, you also have the liberty to skip it and talk about something else instead of it. Which means that yes, internship can act as a differentiator, but if you have other things to compensate for it, for example, research papers or live projects, then also it's fine. When I reviewed the CVs of my juniors at IIM Ahmedabad, I noticed that a lot of them, especially engineers, did not have any internships. In lieu of it, they had some research projects or some research papers that they had written. Now, let's say that you're going ahead with doing an internship. Then you might wonder what kind of an internship should you be doing. There are a lot of options. There might be paid, unpaid internships. You can do them at the office or virtually, and a lot of other things that are written in front of you. The question is, does it even matter? And the answer is no. Because I had a lot of batchmates who had done internships that were not even related to the MBA program. However, their diverse experience is what the interviewer sought during the interview and selected them. You won't believe that we have cases on so many different topics that whenever there is a case discussion happening in the classroom, the best thing is that there is always one student at least in the class who can share a fresh perspective and a diverse perspective. For example, we once had a case on Coal India, and there was a student who had interned in the coal industry and he was able to share his perspective, which none of us could. So, the question that will come at the end of the day would be what is the value that you can add to the batch? And that might happen if you choose a diverse experience rather than going ahead with an internship which you think is more MBA related. So, if any one of you is wondering which is the best internship to do for MBA, the answer is that there's nothing called best. Everything that you get in the form of an internship is going to be an opportunity. And when the interviewers are going to assess you in the interview, they are going to look for three things. What was the role or the responsibilities you had during work? What was the contribution that you were able to make facing a particular challenge that the organization was to face? And what were your learnings from the entire experience? In essence, they are going to only check what is the value that you're going to add to the batch if you get selected. And the same holds true for the companies as well, which hire. In fact, most of the consulting firms at IIMs look for people with fresh perspective and diverse backgrounds because they can add a lot of value beyond what every other candidate can. Okay, so far so good. Now you might be wondering, let's say I'm interested in a particular field like marketing. So then which internships should I pursue? Marketing related or others as well? The best part about the MBA experience at IIM specifically is that specializations don't exist. So let's say you get into IIM Ahmedabad, you can get into any of these fields during your summers as well as during your finals. People who get into marketing in summers can also end up getting consulting in the finals and vice versa. So the internships that you pursue before getting into a B school are not necessarily going to impact the opportunities you get during your summers. There are a host of other factors that go into that play. So, the internships that you do before your MBA are in fact the best way for you to assess where your interest lies or whether you are interested in a particular field or not. For example, I did a couple of internships before getting into a B school to be sure that I like marketing. That also helped me get shortlist from all the different kinds of companies except PM Tech firms because I had these experience at my back. Now, one thing that you should note is that most IIMs have CV variants process, which means that you can have multiple CV variants for applying to different firms. I had one CV variant for marketing firms, one CV variant for consulting firms, and one CV variant for general management firms. You can have multiple variants. So, if you have diverse experiences, you can pick and choose which internship you want to put in which CV variant depending upon the firm that you're applying to. So, that is another advantage if you have diverse experiences. All right, another thing people ask is how many internships should I do and when should I do them? It will depend on the year you are currently in and what all skills do you want to acquire. There is no fixed number as such, but I would recommend you to do at least 2 or 3 internships because that will help you understand which field you are interested in. And in fact, people who are in a 3 year program, for them, in the first 3 semesters, when you're not preparing for CAT, that is the best time for you to pursue an internship. Or if you have taken CAT and now you're waiting for your interview, that time as well. Like it won't go against you because one, you are still acquiring skills, and two, you are not going to mention it anywhere in your interview form anyway. So nobody is going to ask you when you did that internship. I also felt that the best time for me to do an internship was during holidays, but if you're doing a virtual internship and you can manage it well with your CAT preparation, I think that's also fine. You should start applying for an internship at least a month prior to when you actually have to start working because there's a lot of paperwork or email exchange that takes place. So take a note of that point in advance. This is probably the most important thing. I always worried that I don't know anything, so why would a company even hire me? The best part is that you're not required to know anything. An internship, by definition, means that you are going to be trained and you're going to learn on the job. Unless you are preparing or applying for something specific like graphic designing, SEO, or financial analysis, where you are supposed to know a little bit about these things, which you can easily acquire using free courses or by reading up about these things online. Otherwise, you're not required to learn all these things in advance. In fact, I talked to one of the founders of the organization that I worked with, and he told me that the 4 things that any company would look for during hiring for an internship is one, whether you know MS Excel, second, how good you are at your communication skills, third, the industry know how, and finally, how creatively you can bring about those ideas which might help the organization. Now, within industry know how, we mean 5 things: company, competitors, customers, collaborators, and context. Others are self explanatory. Collaborators, other stakeholders, for example, the suppliers of an organization or the distributors of an organization. Context means the kind of challenges and the kind of opportunities the company is placed in currently. When you research about all these 5 things, what you'll get in essence is a 5C model, which helps you understand any industry better. So when you do this analysis and you club them with all the other skills that have been mentioned by that founder, you will be ready to get into any internship unless it is a core skill specific internship. This brings us to the second part of the video, which is how to find these internships and how to apply for them. There are different portals which are available, so you can refer to your Placecom notifications. If you don't have a Placecom, I'll share an alternative shortly. There is LinkedIn. There are personal contacts that you might have in the industry, or there are some websites as well. Now, if you don't have a Placecom, then a lot of colleges organize internship fairs where you can visit and apply for these applications. Or if you want to do it virtually, then a lot of internship websites also offer them, like Internshala or Dare to Compete. But I don't have a holistic list right now. I'm planning to create a blog post on the same, so stay tuned for that. Within LinkedIn, how can you find the opportunities? So these are a couple of ways. There are job listings already, or you can make use of the different hashtags and look out for internships. The third way is to look out for specific organizations and their HRs and email them. Generally, their emails are available in their contact information. If you're using websites like Internshala, I have a tip for you. You can look out for that opportunity on Internshala, but rather than applying for it over there or in addition to applying for it over there, also email the HR, which you can find out using LinkedIn or through the website. Email them separately as well, your CV, because that will help you differentiate yourself. Now, there might be students watching this video and saying that we are not from tier 1 colleges and we don't have a place com in our institute. So, what should we do? I have some alternate ways for you. One thing you can do is look out for the placement reports of tier 1 colleges and check out the firms that offer internships over there. This information is easily accessible on their websites. Once you make a list of these companies, email their HRs using LinkedIn. Because once you know that these companies hire from other institutes, there's a higher likelihood that they might make an exception for you. Second thing is to talk to your third years and make sure that when they graduate and they get into different firms, they can be your personal contact at that point of time. Third is to have personal contacts yourself. So even if you don't have a person working in, let's say, a very reputed firm, you can still reach out to someone working in a factory or maybe having a very small startup and ask them for an opportunity. Fourth one is to scan through the LinkedIn profiles of students from tier 1 colleges who are probably 3 or 4 years elder to you and check out the internships that they have done. Again, make a list of all these companies and apply to their HRs using LinkedIn. Finally, there are a lot of events which might be being organized around you, not by your college, not by the different clubs and societies, but individually. For example, an NGO working on something around you. Take the initiative, reach out to them, and ask them if there is an opportunity to volunteer the next time they are hosting an event like that. Even that can be counted as an internship experience. It's all about how comfortable you are by making a call or by emailing them or by reaching out to them personally. And to be honest, you should never be hesitant because as long as you're willing to learn, people will be willing to offer you the opportunities. Now, you might be wondering what exactly should I attach to the email? One, of course, is going to be the body of the email, and what you attach is called a CV. Now, I have shared samples for both of them in the description. You can check them out. But an additional thing that I would want you to include either in the body or as an attachment is what you did earlier in terms of research, which is your 5C model about that organization, and help them understand what value you can add forth or what you would want to work on. Alright, so this is the third part of the video. A lot of people asked if field switching is possible. Yes, it is. In fact, a lot of my batchmates interned in marketing or finance before MBA, and a lot of non engineering batchmates interned within roles which were not related to their background, like analytics or sports management. In fact, one of my internships, which was in insurance, was not related to my background. I did it as a personal contact referred me, and the other internships I got mostly via Internshala, and they were all virtual. A lot of people also ask questions like, are campus ambassador internships important? So I have been on both the sides. I've also organized a campus ambassador for my college and I've also been a campus ambassador. What I've realized is that it depends on how you take the opportunity to market the event. You have to take a lot of initiative in that case, but it is good for starters. I would not recommend it if it's your second or third internship. Are NGO or social works important? They're very important. They add a lot of value. You can include them both as an extracurricular point and as a POR or an internship as well. So, yes, they add a lot of value. In fact, they will also give you a different perspective, which you might not get if you are interning at a startup or at a reputed firm. Should you be going ahead with an opportunity which does not offer you CV proofs? See, in the worst case, you will still be getting some skills, but I would say look out for something that offers you at least a certificate as a proof. Another thing for people who probably don't believe in themselves, I did not believe in myself in my undergrad college at all. So I started with smaller opportunities like campus ambassador program. Then I interned in startups and then I interned in SBI Life. The point being, initially, if you don't believe in yourself, conduct a barter wherein you're giving your time and ideas in exchange of skills and later take it up to paid internships or better reputed opportunities. Some of you even asked about the CV verification process and how these internships are going to get verified. See, each B school has a different verification process, which you don't need to worry about unless you get into that B school. If you are still interested to learn more about these processes, I would say read the link in the description. I have shared about it in a blog post written already. And finally, a question about IIM internships under professors. See, there is a separate process for IIM internships, which has been already talked about on the blog by two students who interned under professors. But if you still want me to create a video explaining the process, then you would have to let me know in the comments. I can create a separate video for the same. So this is all from my end, guys. If you have any queries, please let me know in the comments below. And thank you for watching the video. I hope it helps you get some great opportunities in your undergrad.